Hello, citizens. Phineas Hook again here today, recording once again on my way home from work. Most people remember the old DoS games, Duke Nukem, the original Duke Nukem, and Commander Keen, the slightly lesser known Jill of the Jungle. And those games are awesome. You know, I love those games. But I like a lot of games that no one's ever heard of before. Like I said, I really like indie games. And of course, back then, just about all games were indie games because development teams were so small. Companies that were dedicated to making video games were, you know, they weren't anything like the companies dedicated to making games now. id, creators of Doom and Wolfenstein, they were microscopic compared to what they are now. If you've never heard of Jill of the Jungle, you play as an Amazon, Jill of the Jungle, George's sister, I guess. She's a shapeshifter, so you can turn into a few different things, and really not a whole lot of story or explanation goes with it, other than you're trying to get to the end of the game. The control is a little hypersensitive. It was a little manic feeling. But if you go back to the early days of PC gaming, start coming into the QBasic games. And one of my favorite QBasic games was QBasic Gorillas, or as it's sometimes called through a mishearing of the title, Two Basic Gorillas, which is hilarious because they're two very poorly rendered gorillas. And it's sort of the granddaddy of Tank Wars. It's built to be a two-player game. And you have two King Kong-style gorillas standing on top of skyscrapers. And you have to select the angle of the trajectory and the power with which you throw an exploding banana. So first one to nuke the other monkey with the exploding banana, well, they won. Another game, I remember it being QBasic, although I'm not sure now. It may have just been DoS. Jumpman was a stick figure. And, I mean, just the lowest grade graphics you can possibly imagine. He's a stick figure. You climbs a series of ladders and ropes. There are homing dots. You have to jump over them or dodge them, climb up a ladder real quick or something. There's no ducking. There's no ducking. There's only jumping. And Jumpman doesn't jump that high. You have to time your jumps very well. And if you know that homing dot is coming for you and it's coming too high and you won't be able to jump over it, you have to run. And you better hope there's a ladder in your path that you can clamber up as fast as you can, because there is no escape otherwise. There have been many games called Boulder Dash. Most of them, all of them, are pretty much the same game. With the exception of one, and that is Boulder Dash on the Commodore Amiga. They were basically clones of Dig Dug without the pump weapon, or Bomberman without the bombs. Actually, sometimes there were bombs, now that I think about it. But killing enemies usually involved timing when you pushed a rock so that it would squish the enemy on the way down. The gameplay was just so much more smooth, so much more polished feeling than any of the other Boulder Dash games I ever played. And I played quite a few of them, trying to find the Boulder Dash that I grew up playing. It was one of those games that, despite its rudimentary graphics, despite how simple the concept of the game was, it could get your adrenaline pumping when you were trying to finish a particularly difficult level, and just a few minutes later it could have you laughing your ass off at something hilarious that happened in the game. I'm sure many of you have played Boulder Dash, but you have not played Boulder Dash until you have played the Commodore Amiga Boulder Dash. Normally, I find games like that boring, no pun intended, but the Commodore Amiga Boulder Dash was not in any way boring to me. I loved it. I could play it for hours, and you could play it for hours. There was 99 levels, I think, and none of them were repeating levels. Like, they were all unique individual levels. And some of the puzzles were pretty tough to figure out. I plan to review these games in depth, along with any other games that you guys may suggest when I get my setup the way that I want it. Thank you all for watching, everybody, and remember, brick and mortar buildings are made out of real mortars. Thank you.